If you're buying a home in South Florida, there is one mistake that could cost you thousands of dollars after closing, and it happens every single day. A home may look perfect during a showing, fresh paint, beautiful kitchen, gorgeous landscaping, but what you can't see could turn your dream home into a very expensive surprise. Today, I sat down with Michelle from Defender Inspections to talk about what buyers should really be looking for during the inspection process. We talked about the different types of inspections available and the red flags that can make or break a real estate transaction. If you're thinking about buying a home, stay until the end because some of these issues can cost tens and thousands of dollars, and many buyers don't even know to ask about them. Hi, Michelle. How are you doing today?
Howdy. Doing great.
All right, awesome. So, Michelle, tell us a little bit about how you got into the business of home inspections.
How I got in the business. Well, I was in the service industry for a very long time. And although it's great for some people, it just felt a little short for me. I needed a little more. I like to be not in the same place doing the same thing all the time. So I actually have a friend of mine who is a home inspector, and he suggested, you know what, come out with me. Go on a couple inspections with me, see if you like it. If this is something that you want, go to school, get your certificate, get certified, and let's see if that's something you want. So it was COVID. My restaurant closed down for 2 months. So that 2 months, I was like, that's it. I'm doing it. I studied day and night. I took the test. I was a home inspector by the time the restaurant had opened back up. So from there, I was doing both for about 1.5 years.
Very interesting that you are in a male-dominated industry.
Well, I was the tomboy when I was a kid. I was the one who was climbing trees and playing with Matchbox cars and racetracks. I was not playing with dolls and dollhouses and little tea sets. I was the one, and helped my dad build sheds and stuff. So I was very hands-on, and that's my style of job, you know. And this just fell right into that. Well, the best part is, for my slogan in my company, is defending my clients' in investments. So going into a home and basically telling them the entire story of the house gives them all the knowledge that they need to know whether they want to move forward or if they want to continue on looking. Miami has some really interesting DIY patches. You know, they want to do things on their own. There's actually one I did in Miami where there was a hole in the wall that they had converted a laundry room into put it in as a triplex. So now it's another unit. And instead of closing the hole up, they decided they just wanted to put a Nerf football in the hole. So we're like, okay, so that's how we, deal with that. But it's just a lot of things that we'll see that and they're like, this is just a patch job. So, that's not, they have very unique ways of doing that. They use duct tape. That was around a skylight. So they figured they were gonna hold the skylight on with duct tape. There was another home, it was funny, again in Miami, where they didn't have any, it was an older home, so they didn't have any hurricane straps. So what they decided to do was to embed something into the ground and put a rope all the way across the house down to the other side into the ground as well. So they were trying to hold down the roof, and they did this periodically.
Do it yourself, strapping down
that was their own hurricane straps. Okay, so the top 5 things that I look at. 1, we want to look at the roof. We need to and know how many years are left on it, the condition of the roof, and if there's any repairs that need. This is something that's going to be needed for the 4-point insurance. So you want to be able to get insurance. So roof is a big thing we want to make sure is in satisfactory condition and is going to have enough years left to get insurance. Number 2 is your AC unit. The expense could be about $10,000. So we want to make sure what the age is of that AC unit and how well it is working to decipher whether or not it's just going to need a service or they might need to be replaced. The next is the plumbing, especially on older homes where they have cast iron. At this time, most of the cast iron pipes are in pretty bad shape. So we definitely want to get a sewer scope to check out those pipes. And we want to, I check out all how well they drain. So every sink, every toilet, every shower, we run the water and we make sure that the plumbing is in good condition. The next is electrical, because there are panels where the insurance company will not accept these certain brands.
What are those brands?
So we have Zinsco, we have Challenger, we have Sylvania. So these ones, the insurance company will not accept because the breakers tend to be faulty. So a lot of times they may need to be changed out. So we go in and we inspect that for the name brand, and then to make sure there's no issues in the electrical panel as double taps, neutrals and grounds connected, oversized wiring, overheating. So we want to make sure the electrical is great. Also for all the outlets, if there are any GFCIs where they're supposed to be, check all the outlets, make sure they work and they're not loose. All cover plates are on. So electrical is a thing that we want to make sure that we look at. Now the last one is a kind of like a twofer down here in Florida, because we don't want water intrusion. So a lot of windows, sometimes you get water that gets down in the windows. Your fascia on the outside around the roof, that'll get water. And then this will attract termites, which we do not want to get termites in South Florida. Once they get into the home, they're just going to continue to eat. So moisture is what attracts termites. So when they're swarming and they detect moisture in a home, then they're going to come into the home. And sometimes it can be really difficult to get rid of them. Okay, so first off, you want to do your general. That's the whole condition of the house. And there's 2 insurance forms that are needed. You need a wind mitigation. That's for the insurance company to determine how well your house is protected against a hurricane. The 4-point is basically those, the roof, the AC, the electrical, and the plumbing, what condition those are, to see whether or not there would be a claim be putting in soon. So they want to see the condition of all of these, make sure they're in all working order. We also you want to get the WDO, which is wood destroying organisms. Those are the inspection for termites. There is also a pool inspection that we can visually look at the pool and the equipment itself and evaluate that and have a separate report with that. We have air quality. There are a lot of people who have allergies, children who have allergies, that they want to determine whether or not there's anything in the air ducts that is going to cause illnesses. So we do the air quality. During the general inspection, we do a visual look anyways. So we're looking for mold in anywhere where there's water, underneath sinks, air handler, anywhere where there's water, we look already during the general inspection. And the air quality is a device that we set up that checks the air. So if there's any spurs in the air that you're going to breathe in, it's going to go through this machine. We take those cells to the lab, and the lab determines whether or not there's any mold in the house or not. So that's going to be your air quality, and then the mold is also an assessment that we do during the general inspection. Well, it's really good for sellers to do It's a pre-listing inspection. It's the same as a general inspection. We do the same exact inspection as we would do for a buyer. So we're giving the seller all that information so they know what the main things are that need to be dealt with, whether the safety things and all the other minor things as well, so they can determine whether they want to, if they want to fix all this stuff right away, or if they know that they're already going to be giving a credit and they understand this. So it's just good to get a pre-listing inspection on the entire house. Otherwise, they could just get like a roof certification where it's just the roof. If that's the only thing they're really worried about, it's just really the roof. So then they can just separately get a roof certificate. Okay, so for me, for a general inspection, it takes about 3 hours. Very thorough. I check everything, the entire roof, the entire exterior, all walkways, everything inside, all appliances, all windows, doors. I turn everything on, off. My hands are on everything, all the plumbing, all the faucets and sinks and everything are turned on. The attic, so I do a full inspection in the attic. So this takes about 3 hours. I want to be very thorough, and I'm going to make sure that I document everything. There's a lot of information that goes into these reports, even as pictures of their appliances and the ages. So there's already a visual when they get their report of everything pertaining to the house. Now the reports that we do, they are received the same day, because while I'm doing the inspection, the software I use on my phone is actually doing the report at that time. So then the turnaround time to have the report is only maybe another hour or two after the report, after the inspection, they would receive the report. So that's what I want to get. So before I even do the inspection, I do a permit history and I do research on the home first. So I get a lot of information prior to coming to the home. So I have a lot of knowledge already about that home before I even get there, by looking at the permits, looking at the property online, and getting a lot of information through that. So once I get there, I know what I'm expecting, and I know what's going on with the home. Like we said, especially if it's an older home and there might be cast iron, we want to ask the buyer if that's something that they want to do with sewer scope. So there's some information that we get first, and then we move on from there. We are called Defender Inspections, and our slogan is defending your investment. And we are a husband and wife team. I am the inspector, and I've been inspecting for about 6 years. So I am pretty well seasoned. I am also a CPI and a master inspector. So we are now trying to get out on our own and starting our own business. So we do all the reports. We do a general, 4-point, wind mitt. We also do a pool, and we do air quality. And we also have people that we use to do plumbing, sewer scopes, and WDO. So we do have plenty of people on our side. If you need something done that we don't do, we have people that can come do that. Our phone number to call us for all of your inspections, that's going to be 954-477-1511. My husband is Glenn in the office, and he will be the one who would be taking all the calls and inputting all the information.
A huge thank you to Michelle from Defender Home Inspections for sharing her expertise today. The reality is that a home inspection isn't just another box to check during a transaction. It's one of the most important opportunities you'll have to understand exactly what you're buying before you sign on the dotted line. If you're relocating to South Florida or thinking about buying a home anywhere in Broward, Palm Beach, or Miami-Dade County, I'd love to help guide you through the process. Make sure to subscribe to South Florida Real Estate Tips, where we share expert advice from local professionals, market updates, neighborhood tours, and insider information to help you make a smarter real estate decision. Drop your biggest home inspection questions in the comment. Look forward to checking up with you next time.